Okay, Costa Rica is amazing for families, but there are a few ways that this trip can go sideways fast. Whether it's problems with animals, expectations, clothing, there are some simple steps that you can take on a family trip to Costa Rica that are just gonna make it 10 times smoother and more enjoyable for the kids. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 7 practical tips that are gonna help make traveling to Costa Rica as a family a much more seamless experience so that you are freed up to just focus on having a wonderful time with your kids. This is the Costa Rica Family Survival Guide. Let's rock. First, and this is probably the easiest problem to fix, pack multiple swimsuits for each person. Whether you're going to the beach or to the hot springs, you're probably gonna be doing quite a bit of swimming. And if swimming is part of the itinerary for your trip, you're gonna wanna have more than one swimsuit for each person. Here's why. The humidity in Costa Rica is off the charts. I mean, things do not dry fast. So you can hang your swimsuit over the railing of your balcony. It's just not gonna be dry in a few hours. It's still gonna be sopping wet. And the problem with that is, next time you wanna go swimming, your swimsuit is still wet, and now it's cold and wet. We've all fought with our kids about putting on a wet bathing suit before, and it's easier just to have a couple of bathing suits with you. It totally solves the problem. Second, teach kids about animal safety. This is actually a really big deal. In Costa Rica, the wildlife is beautiful, and there are animals everywhere, walking down the path on the property, on the beach, on the pool deck. There's just gonna be animals everywhere. And it's actually one of the wonderful parts of Costa Rica. But you have to remember, these are all wild animals. You're in the jungle, in their home. So you're the one invading their space. And things can go wrong really fast if you haven't talked to your kids in advance about how to live in the space of wild animals. There are quite a few cases of kids going to the hospital because they were bit by an iguana on the pool deck that they were trying to feed, or attacked by monkeys who really just want their food, but a kid getting attacked by a monkey is a pretty traumatic experience for a small child, even though the monkey meant no harm. The same thing can be true of a lot of the birds. You have food and they want it, and you're in their space.
You're in the jungle, baby!
So it just helps to teach your kids about animal safety ahead of time, and one of the keys to this is don't say stupid things to your kids. A lot of the times we like to say things that comfort our kids that are not actually true. Like, they're more afraid of you than you are of them. No, they're not. You're in their home. They will take your food and run away, and they don't care what you think about it. Oh, don't worry, they won't hurt you. Yes, they will. They're wild animals. You're the one who needs to be careful. Instead of saying some of those stupid things, let's try to say some smart things, like wild animals are not pets. Just kind of getting your kids in that kind of a mindset is actually helpful. In fact, there's 3 things that you can tell your kids that would be really helpful. First, look, don't touch. That's a pretty simple thing. If your kid is not trying to touch an iguana, it's not going to get bit by an iguana. Good deal. Second, don't feed animals. I think the natural temptation is kids want to be sweet to animals, and so they want to feed them. Food instincts are not the kind of things that you want to bring out when you're around animals. Third, always ask first. If you just tell your kids, always ask first, and that's just kind of one of the rules for the trips as it centers around animals, it puts your kids in a much safer space where they're thinking, before I do anything with this bird or monkey or coati or iguana or whatever it is, they've thought in advance, like, I should ask mom and dad first. So look, don't touch, don't feed the animals, always ask first. That said, if you want me to do a fun video for kids teaching them animal safety in Costa Rica, I could do that. Just let me know in the comments. If enough people are wanting something like that, that would totally be a fun video that we could make. Third, you should plan to pack quick dry towels. For the same reason we talked about before with the humidity, towels do not dry quickly. That's a pain in the butt because not only can you not dry off with them, but you can't put them in your suitcase either.
Okay, so it's rainy season in Costa Rica, and you know, sometimes it rains a little, sometimes you grab a towel and head for the hills.
One of the travel hacks that we found as a family is just that quick dry microfiber towels are a really inexpensive way to just make the trip a lot easier. I'll drop a link in the description to the ones that we specifically use just in case that's helpful, but really any kind of fast dry microfiber towel will be great. We like these ones because of the zipper case that they come with. Fourth hack to make this family trip to Costa Rica that much easier is just to plan some downtime. It's pretty easy to mess this up because Costa Rica is so full of so many fun things to do, and no matter where you go, there's gonna be more things to do than you could possibly do in the time that you're there. This leads to the temptation to just overstuff your itinerary, and that will definitely ruin your trip together as a family. I'll never forget a trip that we went on with our 3 kids where I had just packed our itinerary so tight because I was afraid we were gonna miss something wonderful and I wanted our kids to see everything. And my kids were tired and they were complaining, and it's understandable. And I just remember looking at our kids and saying, like, what's wrong with you guys? This is a privilege. This trip is something you should be thankful for. And me and your mom spent this money to, and I'm going on, and I just realized, well, this is my fault. I am such an idiot. I planned for us to do too much. The kids are exhausted and it's my fault. I had to apologize to my kids for getting frustrated with them about that. But at the end of the day, it's just a good reminder that this is an easy mistake to make. You want to do a lot of fun things together as a family, but if you don't plan some downtime to just decompress, you're really not going to enjoy the trip as much. This is especially true if they're not used to the heat and the humidity in Costa Rica. It will just sap them of energy. As a family, we've personally found it helpful to get up early and get out there and beat the crowds while everybody's still sleeping. We go enjoy all of the touristy things. And then in the middle of the day when it's hottest, when everybody else is out there and it's a mob scene, that's the best time to just go back to the hotel or go back to the beach and just lounge and chill and decompress a little bit. Planning for this kind of downtime can also mean just thinking in advance about getting a room or a resort that's going to allow you the space to be able to do that. That might mean, getting the 2-bedroom suite for your family so that there's a place in the living room where there's a couch that the kids can sit on and play on their Nintendos or whatever. It might mean getting a resort where there's going to be a place there that we're going to be able to chillax together as a family. Thinking through that in advance is going to make a big difference for your family because sometimes less is more. If you feel like planning your Costa Rica trip is costing you dozens of hours of Google searches and scrolling through endless photos and details trying to figure everything out, and you want some expert help planning your itinerary for your family, we've had a lot of people ask about this, so we offer a custom trip design service where we'll actually help you plan your itinerary and think through the best way to structure your trip. The link is in the description below for that. Let us know if there's any way we can help, or let us know in the comments if you have any questions. Fifth, pack stuff for the kids to do during travel. Whether that's little magnetic board games or things like that, you're gonna spend time on a plane to get there. So what are the kids gonna do on the plane, at the gate, in the airport? So just planning to pack a few small things for the kids to be able to do during that time, whether it's magnetic board games or little blocks or a coloring book or an activity book or something like that. We actually have a Finding Mangoes coloring book. It's called We're Going to Costa Rica, and it gives kids a way to be involved in the trip. There's like a kids packing list in there. There's a page about animal safety that walks through the 3 animal safety rules. There's things about Costa Rica geography at a kid's level. We'll put a link in the description for that. But there's a lot of great options, and just planning to take something with you that's going to be a part of your plan for what the kids are doing during travel time. Sixth, get a bigger vehicle. Maybe at home, your family cruises around in a Honda Civic and that works just fine for you. In Costa Rica, that's really not a good plan. On a road trip across Costa Rica, the extra space is gonna make a big difference. Not just for comfort level for everybody in the vehicle, but also don't forget that you're gonna have suitcases and carry-ons, maybe backpacks and things like that you're gonna be taking with you. And then while you're on the trip, you're gonna buy souvenirs and probably need some extra space. But then also having a bigger vehicle is gonna make a difference because oftentimes a larger vehicle also means a smoother ride. And on a lot of Costa Rica roads, you're probably gonna spend some time on some dirt roads or gravel roads, and even the paved roads are gonna have potholes and there'll be bumpy sections. And honestly, just having a bigger vehicle or higher clearance, it just smooths all of that out. And honestly, it wears the kids down, it wears mom and dad down a lot less if you have a bigger vehicle that's absorbing some of the impact between you and the road. Seventh and finally, talk to your kids about expectations for the trip. Sounds silly, it's just something that we don't often think in advance that we should do. If you walk your kids through the schedule for the trip, even if they're little, this can be helpful in just preparing their expectations for what this trip is going to involve. Yes, we're going to do a lot of fun things, but oftentimes as parents, we only talk to the kids about the really fun things, and we haven't talked through the fact that we have a travel day to get there, and then we're gonna have to spend 3 hours in the car once we land at the airport. But preparing them in advance for those things actually makes a big difference because kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. One big one to talk with the kids about is wildlife noises at night. Sometimes hearing monkeys screaming in the jungle at bedtime sounds like demons if we haven't thought about this ahead of time. But if we have thought about it ahead of time, then it all just becomes a part of the adventure. And I think framing it as an adventure for the kids is actually a really helpful way to talk with them about this and to prepare their expectations. Adventures involve doing hard things together as a family. Rather than becoming something that kids are complaining about and are just difficult, actually becomes a part of the memories that you make together as a family. If this is your first trip to Costa Rica, then there are a few mistakes that nearly everybody makes on their first trip to Costa Rica. You can get the details on those here. We also put together a video that helps you know the best ways to save money on a trip to Costa Rica. You can check that out right here. We hope you and your family have a wonderful trip.